All praise is due to the one who granted us life, time, and countless opportunities to learn and improve. Dear brothers and sisters, students of life, every one of us understands the idea of a test. A test has preparation, pressure, patience, and finally, an end. No examination lasts forever, no matter how long or difficult it feels. Today, let us reflect on a powerful reality. One day, the final test will be over. From the moment we enter this world, we are enrolled in an examination without a timetable on the wall. We are tested through ease and hardship, through success and failure, through health and illness. Sometimes the questions come in forms we do not like, and sometimes the answers demand patience rather than words. It's not a random process. It is an educational journey designed to develop our character, our values, and our awareness. In any classroom, a good student does not complain about the difficulty of the exam, but prepares with sincerity. Similarly, in life, the wise person understands that challenges are not punishments by default. They are lessons. A delay teaches patience, a loss teaches humility, a blessing teaches gratitude. Each experience is a question paper tailored for our growth. When the final test is over, marks will not be based on how much we owned, but on how we behaved. Not on how loud we spoke, but on how truthful we were. Not on how powerful we became, but on how just and compassionate we remained. This teaches us that real education is not only about information, but transformation. An important lesson for every learner is this: do not give up in the middle of the exam. Some people drop their pen too early, thinking they have failed already. But as long as time remains, answers can still be written, mistakes can still be corrected, and effort is still rewarded. Proven itself is a success. And when the final test is over, those who struggled honestly will realize that every tear had a purpose, every moment of patience had value, and every sincere effort was recorded. This realization gives us hope and motivates us to live responsibly. So let us walk through this educational journey with awareness. Let us learn from our mistakes, revise our intentions daily, and help others during their tests as well. Because the best students are not only those who pass, but those who uplift others along the way. And may we be among those who, when the final test is over, are content with their effort and grateful for the lessons learned. Thank you. Life as a temporary examination means understanding that our time in this world is limited, purposeful, and structured around learning rather than comfort. Just as an exam hall is not a place to settle permanently, this world is not our final destination. Every stage of life presents a different syllabus. Childhood teaches dependence and trust. Youth teaches discipline and choices. Adulthood teaches responsibility and balance. And later years teach reflection and detachment. Each phase carries lessons that cannot be skipped. And moving forward without learning them often results in repeating the same mistakes in different forms. In any examination, the student is not given all questions at once. They appear one by one, requiring focus on the present question rather than panic about the entire paper. Similarly, life tests us gradually. A person may be tested with ease before hardship, or hardship before ease. Wealth can be a test just as much as poverty, because it examines gratitude, generosity, and humility. Difficulty, on the other hand, examines patience, reliance, and self-control. Seeing life as an exam helps us understand that comfort is not always success, and struggle is not always failure. An important aspect of an exam is that it is supervised, even when the invigilator is silent. This teaches awareness and self-discipline. In life, many actions are done when no one else is watching, yet they still matter. When a student knows they are being assessed, they act with honesty, even if cheating seems easy. Likewise, understanding life as a test encourages integrity, reminding us that character is defined more by private actions than public behavior. This perspective builds moral responsibility and consistent ethical conduct. Every examination has instructions, boundaries, and rules. A student who ignores them may be intelligent, but will still fail due to negligence. Life also has clear principles that guide behavior, relationships, and decision-making. Crossing boundaries may bring temporary benefit, but it damages long-term results. Seeing life as an exam helps a person respect limits, understanding that discipline is not restriction but protection. It trains the mind to think long-term rather than being driven by impulse. Mistakes are an inevitable part of learning. In an educational setting, mistakes highlight areas that need improvement. They are not meant to define a student's worth, but to guide growth. Life operates in the same way. Poor decisions, failures, and regrets are part of the learning curve. The danger lies not in making mistakes, but in refusing to learn from them. Viewing life as a test encourages reflection rather than self-destruction, accountability rather than denial. Or another feature of an examination is unequal questions. Not all students receive the same paper, and not all questions carry equal difficulty. One student may struggle with time, another with health, another with relationships. Comparing papers is pointless because fairness lies in assessment according to capacity, not comparison with others. This understanding removes envy and arrogance. It teaches empathy because one realizes that everyone is answering a different set of questions, even if they appear similar on the surface. Preparation is central to success in any test. Last-minute cramming rarely replaces consistent effort. Life also rewards consistency over sudden bursts of motivation. Small daily habits, sincere intentions, and gradual improvement shape outcomes more than dramatic but short-lived changes. Seeing life as an exam promotes discipline, time management, and self-awareness. It teaches that neglecting preparation leads to regret, while steady effort builds confidence and resilience. Every examination has an end, and that end gives meaning to the struggle. If exams were endless, motivation would collapse. The temporary nature of life gives urgency to learning, correcting, and improving. It reminds us that delays have consequences and opportunities have expiry dates. Understanding life as a temporary examination shifts priorities away from distraction and toward purpose. It trains the mind to ask not only, what do I want now, but what will this answer mean when the paper is collected? Accountability and reflection form the core of meaningful education in life. In any academic setting, a student is not evaluated merely on attendance, but on understanding, application, and honesty. Similarly, life demands more than simply existing. It requires awareness of one's actions, intentions, and consequences. Accountability begins with recognizing that every choice, whether small or significant, contributes to a broader record. Words spoken in haste, decisions made in secrecy, and attitudes carried in the heart all shape outcomes, even if their effects are not immediately visible. Reflection is the process that transforms experience into wisdom. Without reflection, events pass through a person without leaving insight behind. In education, reviewing mistakes after an exam is often more valuable than the exam itself because it clarifies weaknesses and strengthens future performance. Life operates on the same principle. Reflection allows individuals to pause, evaluate their behavior, and ask difficult questions about their motives. It is not a practice of self-condemnation, but one of honest self-assessment. Through reflection, a person learns whether their actions align with their values. True accountability is internal before it is external. When students rely solely on teachers or examiners to enforce discipline, learning becomes shallow. The strongest students develop self-monitoring habits, checking their own work even when no one else is watching. In life, this internal accountability shapes character. A person who corrects themselves before being corrected by others develops humility and sincerity. This form of discipline builds trust because people learn to rely on someone who holds themselves responsible without constant supervision. A reflection also teaches when individuals analyze not only what they did, but why they did it, they gain insight into their fears, desires, and weaknesses. Many mistakes are repeated not due to ignorance, but due to unexamined patterns of behavior. By reflecting on reactions during conflict, moments of anger, or times of pride, a person begins to understand their inner triggers. This awareness allows growth, helping them respond more thoughtfully in the future rather than acting impulsively. Accountability reshapes how success and failure are defined. Without it, success becomes about appearance and approval, while failure becomes something to hide. With accountability, success is measured by effort and sincerity, and failure becomes a lesson rather than a label. In education, a student who admits confusion learns more than one who pretends to understand. In life, a person who acknowledges fault gains more respect and personal growth than one who constantly shifts blame. Accountability turns setbacks into stepping stones. Another critical aspect of accountability is responsibility toward others. Reflection reveals that personal actions rarely affect only the individual. Words can heal or harm, decisions can support or burden others, and neglect can have lasting consequences. Understanding this encourages careful communication and ethical behavior. A reflective person learns to ask how their behavior impacts family, community, and society. This awareness builds compassion and restraint, reducing harm and strengthening relationships. Regular reflection also prevents arrogance during times of success. In academic achievement, students who reflect on the help they received, the opportunities they were given, and the effort involved remain grounded. In life, reflection reminds individuals that achievements are often the result of many contributing factors, not just personal ability. This humility protects a person from looking down on others and encourages gratitude rather than entitlement. Accountability also strengthens resilience. When individuals take responsibility for their choices, they feel empowered rather than helpless. Blaming circumstances or others may provide temporary relief, but it weakens growth. Reflection helps a person identify what they can control and improve. This mindset fosters maturity, as individuals learn to adapt, correct, and continue rather than becoming stuck in regret or resentment. Accountability and reflection create alignment between knowledge and action. Many people know what is right, but struggle to practice it. Reflection bridges this gap by highlighting inconsistencies between belief and behavior. Over time, this awareness leads to gradual improvement. Just as consistent review improves academic performance, consistent reflection refines character. Through accountability, life becomes an ongoing educational process where every day offers feedback and every correction moves a person closer to integrity and balance. Mercy, hope, and reform are essential elements of meaningful personal development, especially within an educational understanding of life. In any effective learning environment, students are not defined solely by their mistakes, but by their willingness to improve. If a system punished every error without allowing correction, learning would become impossible. Life follows a similar principle. Mercy allows space for growth, hope fuels perseverance, and reform transforms regret into positive change. Mercy teaches that failure is not the end of the learning process. In education, a student who fails a test is often given feedback, retakes, or alternative opportunities to demonstrate improvement. This reflects an important life lesson. Setbacks are not permanent verdicts. Mercy does not mean ignoring mistakes. It means allowing room to learn from them. When individuals understand this, they are less likely to give up after failure and more likely to take responsibility for improvement. Your hope plays a crucial role in sustaining effort during difficulty. Without hope, even capable students lose motivation. In life, hope prevents despair when circumstances seem overwhelming. It reassures individuals that their current state does not define their final outcome. Educationally, hope encourages a growth mindset, the belief that abilities and character can be developed through effort and persistence. This mindset shifts focus from past failures to future possibilities. Reform is the practical expression of hope. It is not enough to feel regret. Improvement requires action. In learning, recognizing an error must be followed by revising methods, seeking help, or changing habits. Life reform works the same way. It involves correcting behavior, repairing relationships, and replacing harmful patterns with constructive ones. Reform is evidence of learning, showing that lessons have been understood and applied. Mercy also teaches individuals how to treat others. In classrooms where teachers are patient, students feel safe to ask questions and admit confusion. In life, practicing mercy toward others fosters understanding and cooperation. Recognizing one's own imperfections makes a person less judgmental and more empathetic. This creates healthier relationships and communities where people are encouraged to grow rather than being shamed into silence. Hope guards against self-destructive thinking. Many people believe that repeated mistakes disqualify them from improvement. In education, this belief leads students to stop trying. In life, it leads to stagnation and regret. Hope challenges this mindset by emphasizing that as long as effort continues, progress is possible. It shifts attention from what has been lost to what can still be achieved. Reform requires discipline and honesty. It is easier to regret privately than to change publicly. True reform may involve difficult steps such as admitting fault, seeking forgiveness, or abandoning familiar but harmful habits. Educational growth also demands discipline, such as consistent study and practice. Reform is not instant, it is gradual and requires patience. Each small improvement is a sign of forward movement. Mercy balances accountability. Without mercy, accountability becomes harsh and discouraging. Without accountability, mercy becomes negligence. In education, effective teachers correct mistakes firmly but fairly, ensuring students understand expectations while feeling supported. Life requires the same balance. Individuals must acknowledge a responsibility while believing that improvement is welcomed. This balance creates motivation rather than fear. Hope also protects individuals during times of delay. Not all effort produces immediate results. In learning, progress may be slow despite sincere effort. Life often reflects this delay. Hope teaches patience, reminding individuals that outcomes unfold over time. This prevents frustration and burnout, encouraging persistence even when results are not visible. Reform ultimately strengthens character. Each corrected mistake adds to wisdom, humility, and resilience. And over time, individuals who embrace reform develop stronger self-control and clarity of purpose. They learn that growth is not about perfection but direction. Educationally, this reinforces lifelong learning, where improvement continues beyond formal assessments. Together, mercy, hope, and reform transform life into a compassionate learning system. They ensure that mistakes become teachers rather than burdens, that effort is rewarded with opportunity, and that every stage of the journey holds the potential for positive change. Preparation for what comes next requires understanding that education extends beyond textbooks, grades, and certificates. While academic learning equips individuals with skills and information, life demands a deeper form of preparation that shapes character, decision-making, and purpose. Knowledge without values can lead to imbalance, whereas values without knowledge may limit effectiveness. True preparation harmonizes both, enabling individuals to navigate responsibilities with wisdom and integrity. Moral character is one of the most critical elements of preparation. In education, students may achieve high marks, but without honesty and responsibility, their success lacks substance. Life evaluates character continuously, especially when choices are difficult and shortcuts appear tempting. Preparing morally means developing truthfulness, fairness, and humility long before they are tested under pressure. These qualities cannot be learned overnight. They are built through consistent practice and conscious self-discipline. Patience is another essential skill for what lies ahead. In learning, progress often requires repetition, delay, and perseverance. Quick results are rare in meaningful education. Life mirrors this reality. Goals take time, relationships require effort, and personal growth unfolds gradually. Preparing for the future means training the mind to remain steady during delays and setbacks. Patience prevents rash decisions that may offer immediate relief but cause long-term harm. Gratitude plays a powerful role in preparation. In education, students who appreciate opportunities tend to make better use of them. In life, gratitude shapes perspective, helping individuals recognize value even during hardship. Preparing with gratitude fosters contentment, reduces envy, and encourages generosity. It also strengthens resilience, as grateful individuals are more likely to focus on available resources rather than perceived losses. Service to others is a vital part of holistic preparation. Education is often viewed as a personal achievement, but its true value appears when it benefits others. Life preparation includes learning to contribute, support, and uplift. Acts of service refine empathy and responsibility, teaching individuals to look beyond self-interest. This mindset prepares people for leadership, teamwork, and meaningful relationships. Self-control is a foundational aspect of readiness. In academic settings, discipline determines whether students meet deadlines and manage distractions. In life, self-control governs emotions, desires, and reactions. Preparing for future challenges requires the ability to pause, evaluate, and choose wisely. This skill protects individuals from impulsive behavior and helps maintain stability during stress. Reflection enhances preparation by ensuring lessons are retained. Without reflection, experiences lose their educational value. In learning, reviewing material strengthens understanding. In life, reflecting on choices strengthens wisdom. Regular reflection helps individuals adjust direction, refine intentions, and avoid repeating mistakes. It ensures that preparation is not static but adaptive. Another key aspect of preparation is adaptability. Education evolves, and so does life. Those who prepare rigidly struggle when conditions change. Adaptability allows individuals to apply principles across situations rather than relying on fixed formulas. This flexibility is developed through curiosity, openness to feedback, and willingness to learn continuously. Preparing for what comes next also involves managing priorities. Not every opportunity deserves attention. In education, successful students learn to allocate time effectively. In life, preparation requires distinguishing between what is urgent and what is important. Clear priorities prevent burnout and misdirection, enabling focused effort on what truly matters. Preparation is sustained through intention. In learning, intention determines effort and consistency. In life, intention shapes meaning. Preparing with purpose transforms routine actions into steps toward growth. It ensures that effort is not wasted and that progress aligns with values. Through moral strength, patience, gratitude, service, discipline, reflection, adaptability, and clear intention, preparation becomes comprehensive. It equips individuals not only to succeed in visible achievements, but to remain grounded, ethical, and purposeful in every stage that follows.